Let's discuss about the hydrides. What do you mean by this hydrides? So let's take here the hydrogen which combines with a number of other elements including metals and non-metals to form compounds. You have heard the name, so that is called metallic hydrides like sodium hydride, calcium hydride, potassium like magnesium hydride. So like this we have heard this one. What do you mean by this hydride means the hydrogen, one thing is common, right? The hydrogen which is going to combining with the number of elements like metals. Metals means example, we can take the metals example, sodium, magnesium. So these are the example for the metals. Non-metals means we can take the best one, halogens, right? Halogens, chlorine, bromine, like this, iodine, like this. So the hydrogen which is going to combine with the metals as well as the non-metals except noble gases. Except noble gases. Why except noble gases? Because noble gases they have completely filled shells, so that is what they are not going to make any bond with any other elements. So only they are going to hydrogen going to bond with only metals as well as the that is non-metals that we are going to call as the hydrides compounds. So let's take here example. For this one I am going to take the example of the sodium hydride. So the hydride means sodium hydride, or you can take the lithium hydride. So these are the best example for the hydrides. And also meanwhile you can see this one classification. So classification is also there based on this one hydrides. So what are the classification here? Three types will be there. One is called ionic solids. One is called ionic hydrides. Ionic hydrides. Second one is called covalent. Covalent hydrides. Third one is called metallic hydrides. Metallic hydrides. So simply ionic hydrides means the this one ionic compounds. Ionic compounds is the electrostatic force of between attraction between the two different charges, opposite charges. That is example for sodium hydride. Right. So let's we can study briefly here. So covalent means that is formation of the mutual sharing of the electrons between the, so that is called as the covalent hydrides. Hydrides means hydrogen must be there, and metallic hydrides means that hydrogen combines with the metals, that is called transition or inner transition elements. We can take the zirconium hydride. So let's discuss about the very briefly about these three classification here. Let's study one by one. So that is called ionic or salt like hydrides. So here these are the hydrides that contain highly electropositive metal ions and negative hydride ions. So that means, so in this chapter of this hydrides, so in this case hydrogen is going to be act as the negative one. That is called hydride. Hydride means we should write like this. So how it works like this? So there will be two types of there. So writing this hydrogen is different. Writing this type of hydrogen is different, and writing this type of hydrogen is different. Why? Because this is a free state of the hydrogen. So this is called loss of an electron, that indicates the losing one electron from the hydrogen. So this is called gaining of one electron, that is called hydrides. So let's take an example here. That is example is sodium metal which is going to be combined with the hydrogen gas, that is called sodium hydride. So this is sodium hydride is going to be comes under the example for the ionic or salt hydrolysis. So how this form will take place, and I take one more example, that is called magnesium. Magnesium plus hydrogen gas, that is going to be formed as the magnesium hydride. So how this is going to be formed here? So this is called highly electropositive metal. This is called highly electropositive metals. So these, in this case ionic solids, the hydrogen has a tendency to form with always group 1 elements as well as the group 2 elements. Group 1 elements is nothing but the alkali metals, and group 2 elements is nothing but the alkaline earth metals. So always group 1 is having the tendency to tell the highly electropositive nature. Highly electropositive, why they are calling highly electropositive? Because in the outermost shell it has only one electron in group 1, so that is easily lose the one electron. That is called only less amount of energy is going to require to remove one outermost electron. So that's why, so if I take simple one, this is sodium, it is containing the 11 atomic number. So what happens? So this is going to lose us one electron, that becomes P Na plus, and whereas here this hydrogen, so hydrogen this will be the one electron will be there, right? So it is going to be obtained one electron from this group 1 elements, that becomes the hydride H minus. So this combination of this Na plus and H minus, that is called ionic formation. Ions means charge separation will be there, Na plus and H minus. So that is going to be combining as the NaH sodium hydride. If you take the magnesium is that comes under the group 2 elements. Group 2 means that have the tendency to lose the 2 electrons, because in its outermost shell electrons it has 2 electrons will be there. So it loses 2 electrons, then the 2 hydrogen atoms, which is going to be take 2 electrons from the magnesium, so that is forming the magnesium hydride here. So this is about the ionic or salt like hydrolysis. Let's go for the second one classification, that is called metallic hydrides or interstitial hydrides. Let's take the definition. These are the hydrides of transition elements and inner transition elements. So you know this one. So when the periodic table, look at this one. So first group 1 and group 2 elements, those we are going to call as the S block elements. So after from group 13 to group 18, we are going to call as the P block elements. So between the S block and P block, that is called D block will be there. So that D block elements we are going to classify as the transition elements, that is called D block, and also inner transition elements will be there, that is called F block elements. At this stage you are going to study only S block elements. So P block, D and F block elements you are going to study in higher classes. So in this case, so between the S and P block, that is called transition elements will be there. The transition elements we are going to call as the D block elements, and inner transition elements we are going to call as the F block elements. So what happens in this case? The hydrogen gas gets absorbed in the empty spaces of D and F block elements. So that is called empty means D orbital should be 0, and in the F block elements there is no electrons in the F block. So in this case, when the vacant will be there, that is called no electron in their orbitals, that time hydrogen gas gets absorbed. So that type of examples we are going to call as the lanthanum hydride. That is called lanthanum hydride. So this is called inner transition elements. So this element comes under the F block elements. So in the periodic table, below the periodic table, so these elements are going to be placed here. So lanthanum hydride, zirconium hydride. So these are the first example for the metallic hydrides, because these are the metals. So that's why hydrides is negative will be there. So that is going to be combining here. That is called metallic hydrides. Let's discuss about the last one classification of the hydrides. That is called covalent hydrides or molecular hydrides. So you are already familiar with the term, that is called covalent. So that is covalent is nothing but the mutual sharing pair of the electrons between the atoms, that is called covalent bonds, right? So usually what are the examples comes under the covalent molecules? They are the comes under the covalent hydrides. So let's take here. So these are the hydrides in which hydrogen is covalently bonded to the other elements which have larger electronegativity. So that means the hydrogen is compared to those elements, that should be hydrogen is having the lesser electronegativity, and it is the formation of the lesser electronegativity, that is hydrogen, and larger electronegativity means that is called comes to the group number 13 to 17 elements, that is called P block elements. So it is the combination of the S block. Hydrogen comes under the S block elements, and remaining larger electronegativity, that is called group 13 to group 17 elements. They are called as P block elements, right? So that is combination of S block and P block elements. We are going to call as the covalent hydrides or covalent molecules. But here, except noble gases, so all the 13 to 17 elements which are comes under the P block elements, they will be having the larger electronegativity. They are going to be combined with the lesser electronegativity atoms. The best example will be methane compounds. I think this is already familiar with this term. How the hydrogen bonds which are attached to this carbon, that is called covalent nature, right? So it is a purely tetrahedral structure. And also we give the example for the ammonia. So this is also comes under the covalent nature. That is called mutual sharing pair of the electrons between the two atoms. Because hydrogen is containing the 1s1 electron, and here carbon will be that comes under the 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, right? After the excitation state, it is going to be forming as 2s1 and 2p3, right? So all the orbitals having the single electron in their respective shells. So in order to make a stable compound, so these 4 hydrogen molecules, that is from the s block, that is called from s, this is called sp hydration, right? So the s orbitals from the hydrogen which are going to be make a bond with these single electrons, that is called sp3 hybridization, because S1s1, that is called hydrogen, and p orbitals of the carbon, that is total, we are going to call as the sp3 hybridization. So like this they are going to form the covalent compounds. So these hydrogen attached to this covalent nature of the elements, that is p block elements, that we are going to call as the covalent hydrides. Similarly, ammonia is also best example for the covalent hydrides. So based on the number of electrons and bonding in nature, so this covalent hydrides we are going to classify further as the, so those are three. That is also very important and very easy to understand. That is called electron deficient, and second one electron precise hydrides, last one electron rich hydrides. So what do you mean by this deficient? Deficient means, so that is called inconvenience. That is called the central atom does not have octet structures. Those comes elements called the electron deficient. That is also we are going to call as the, they don't complete their octet structure. If I take the example for the magnesium hydride, how I am going to write magnesium hydride? Like this. This is called magnesium hydride, MgH2. So in this way, this is not going to be complete its octet structure, right? So this is the best example for magnesium hydride is best comes under the deficient hydrides. And also you can take the diboron compound. Diboron is, that is called B2H6. So that is called B2H6. This diboron compound, boron it acts as the electron deficient, because that is not going to be for the octet configuration. Because if you write the electron configuration of this boron, that is 5 electrons will be there. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p1, right? So how many unpaired electrons here? So that is called valence electrons. So 3 valence electrons will be there in boron atom, right? So these each boron, because 2 boron will be there, so each boron will be having the, so 3 valence will be there. That is going to be utilization for the 6 bonds with the 6 hydrogen, and remaining that should not complete the octet structure. So that is called, that is not obtain the octet rule. So that's why the B2H6 comes under the best example for the electron deficient. Similarly, magnesium hydride also. So next one, let's take the electron precise hydrides. So that is nothing but the central atom has its octet hydrides. So it is going to be complete its octet hydrides. If I take the example, that is same methane compound. So how can you do the best example of this one? So when you write the electronic configuration of this carbon, that is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So outermost shell electrons will be 4 will be there. So those valency shell electrons which are going to utilization for the bond formation with 4 hydrogen atoms. So that is called stable one. That's why it is going to be obtained its, that is a stable near noble gas elements will be there. So right, so this is comes under the stable one. That is called precise hydrides. So in this way, the central atom, that is carbon, which is going to be has its octet hydrides will be obeying here. So that is called best example will be methane, and also you can take the that is silane, SiH4. Right, so this is also comes under the this precise hydrides will be there. And last one, electron rich hydrides. So which have the lone pair of electrons. So in which compounds which will be having the lone pair of electrons, that comes under the electron rich hydrides. The best example will be ammonia, because ammonia is having the lone pair of electrons. And also you can take the example for the water molecules. Right, in the water molecules hydrogen will be there. In this ammonia, hydrogen will be there. So in this water molecules, 2 lone pairs of electron will be present on the oxygen atoms. So that's why the electron rich means that is called lone pair of electrons. So like this, we are going to classify the covalent hydrides based on the number of electrons and their bonding formation, that we are going to classify like this.